Hello and welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a fantastic time. We are almost there with Christmas, not long to go, and we're going to continue with our countdown to Christmas with another Disney story. This time it's based on the Hunchback of Notre Dame, called Christmas in the Bell Tower. Quasimodo expects to spend another lonely Christmas in the Bell Tower, but the gargoyles work hard to spread festive cheer, and suddenly they hear footsteps on the staircase. Who could it be? This was published by Autumn Publishing, and let's find out. From the bell tower, Quasimodo watched the snow fall, blanketing the city in white. It was Christmas Eve. Through the windows of the houses below, he could see blazing fireplaces and happy families gathered around lighted trees. Paris is so beautiful at Christmas time, he sighed, but here I am, surrounded by cold stone walls, and all alone. What do you mean alone? Scowled Victor. The gargoyles sprang to life. What do you think we are? Just a part of the scenery? Added Hugo. Old Levine shuffled towards him. Face it, boys, we don't count for much. Quasi's pining for a visit from his girlfriend. Esmeralda's not my girlfriend, Quasi protested. She's just a girl, said Victor. And a friend, said Hugo. The gypsies are having a big feast tonight, said Quasi. Esmeralda's probably roasting a goose. There's no reason to hope. That she'd have time to think of you, said Victor, winking at Hugo. After Quasi had saved Esmeralda's life, she had promised to visit him often, and she had kept her word up to now. You could go visit her, said Hugo. No, said Quasi. I'm in charge of the bells. First I must ring Vesper, then the midnight bells. Never mind, said Victor. Why don't we make our own celebration? This place could use with a little cheer. Levine gave a loud whistle. Seconds later, a row of pigeons lined the parapet. She whispered to them, and off they flew. Within moments they returned, carrying fir branches, holly boughs, and strands of mistletoe in their beaks. Now, get to work, Quasi, said Levine. As Quasi decked the walls, he felt his loneliness leave. He was a part of Christmas after all. How about some candles, said Victor. It's frightfully dim in here. Quasi went down to the cathedral and borrowed some from the large supply of altar candles. Soon the place was aglow, and every bit as festive as the homes in the city below. For supper, Quasi brought out his usual bread and cheese. It seemed such humble fare for the wonderful decorated table. I should have thought, he said, to fix a better meal. A feast is not what you eat, said Levine. It's who you share it with. You're right, said Quasi, and I'm lucky to be with the most faithful friends around. You got that right, said Hugo with a grin. Just then they heard footsteps on the staircase, hurried footsteps. Who could it be? The cathedral porter looking for his candles, the police checking for fire in the tower, the angry ghost of Frollo bent on ruining Christmas Eve. The door burst open. Quasi gasped. Esmeralda! Merry Christmas, she cried. In her outstretched arms she held a big platter of a roasted goose. She was followed by Diage and the band of gypsies, the men strumming and piping carols, and the women carrying baskets of bread and fruit and fancied Yuletide pastries. The gypsies hoped to make Quasimodo's Christmas very special this year. Esmeralda looked around the beautifully decorated tower room. You told him, she said to the gargoyles. Quasi shook his head. I didn't know you would come, but I must admit, I wished. And your wish came true, said Esmeralda. She set about arranging Quasi's table for the Yuletide feast, but when she turned to him, he was gone. Quasimodo? Then she heard the vesper bells ringing in Christmas Eve. They sounded more joyous than they ever had before. And that is the story of Christmas in the Bell Tower, based on Hunchback of Notre Dame. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas and have a lot of fun. Like, share, subscribe and support the channel however you can. And I will see you real soon.